Hey y'all, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Alyssa, and in today's video, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be testing out the new Colourpop The Mandalorian The Child Pressed Powder Palette. I'm really excited to go ahead and do our first impressions on this palette today, so if you're interested, then just keep on watching and let's go ahead and get started. I was very lucky that I was prepared and I hopped on Colourpop as soon as the palette launched. My understanding, it sold out pretty quickly. However, I'm making this video because this Friday, November 27th, this palette will be restocked. So if you didn't get your hands on it, there's another chance. If you are wanting this palette, I would definitely be ready to jump on Colourpop, you know, a few minutes before. These things go really quickly. This palette is a 9 pan palette and it is $16. If there are Black Friday deals on Colourpop, which I'm sure there will be, I'm not too sure whether they would include this palette since it's new and everyone wants it. I don't know that this would be included in the sale, but it's worth it, you know, to keep an eye out. Check up on Colourpop's Instagram leading up to Black Friday. Before we even test out the formula and do a look with this palette, I need to just like rave and really commend Colourpop because everything about this palette makes so much sense. There are brands that come out with these collections and it just doesn't make sense. Like the colors just don't make sense, the names don't make sense, and you can tell that it was just kind of thrown together. And I really appreciate that Colourpop, you know, took the time to really get the artwork down, get the shades down, get the names down, and I just think that this is a really well done palette. And I really quickly just want to focus on this layout because there isn't a shade in this palette that I feel is out of place or doesn't make sense. I love every single shade and it just makes so much sense for a Yoda palette. It just makes sense. I know that it probably seems stupid to make a big deal about that, but like I said, there are brands that they literally miss that mark. So yeah, I wanted to rave about that before we even test out the formula because that's something going into it that I really appreciate. So with all of that being said, let's just go ahead and get started with the eye look. I'll put the shade names on the screen. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this tan shade, which looks like the perfect transition shade, and we're just gonna start out with that. We're gonna start out pretty simple. I love that the 9 pan shadow palettes have a mirror, very convenient. Alright, so this is with one dip. Not a ton of definition, but I'm not really going to focus on building that up because I want to focus on the other shades in the palette. This is just a little transition shade. I'm sure it builds up very nicely, but I'm more interested in some of the other shades. But yeah, this is what we're working with so far. Now I want to go ahead and build up this minty green shade, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build this up in the crease. So I'm not just going to like go in with one dip. I'm really going to focus on building this up in the crease because I really want this shade to stand out. So I'm gonna build it up a little bit for right now and might come back to it in a little bit. I really like these two shades together. They're creating a really nice kind of deeper minty shade. It's exactly what I wanted. Moving on. So now I'm going to add another matte shade in the crease. I'm going to take this deep camo green and add that as well. And while I blend this, I'm going to go ahead and tell a fun little story about this palette. I was under a lot of pressure ordering this because there were a lot of other people trying to get their hands on it as well. By the way, I'm focusing this on the center of my crease. Just the center. So a lot of other people were trying to get their hands on this. I didn't previously go in and save my information to a profile on Colourpop, which I highly recommend doing because otherwise you're going to have to add all of your information while you're checking out and under a lot of pressure essentially to get the palette. So what happens is you add it to your cart, then you go to checkout, you're placed in a line because a lot of other people are trying to get the palette. So I'm in line and then I get to the checkout. And sometimes if you're in line and there's too many people before you, it will just sell out while you're in line. So I was really excited to get to the line, but I can't remember if Colourpop had a timer up, but I just know with these things that sometimes if you take too long, you'll be out of line or the palette will sell out. So I was quickly putting in my information. Everything went through. I was so excited. By the way, I'm just going back and blending that mint shade. Anyway, so I was so excited because I got the palette. Then I happened to be out of town when it was was estimated to be delivered, but I go out of town and I asked my boyfriend if my palette was delivered, and he said that nothing came to the house for me, so no, but online it had said it'd been delivered. So I was like, where the heck is my palette? I look at my order confirmation and I entered the wrong address. So I had put in the wrong street name. We went to the house to the address that I had accidentally put in. So like I said, the palette was delivered on a Saturday, but I was like out of town. So we went to the address on like a Monday to see if it was still there. So we went like Monday night. It just so happens that a really nice couple lives there, and they just so happened to be in their garage and the door was open. So we kind of walked up. I didn't just walk in, but we kind of stood in the driveway and I said, hi. I accidentally sent my package here. And the lady literally knew exactly what I was talking about. She was like, oh, I just put that in the mailbox today with a note, but we can go check and see if it's there. Literally nicest lady ever. So she takes us over to the mailbox and it wasn't there because obviously the mailman had come and seen it and grabbed it. The man, he was like, well, you should be able to go to the post office in the morning and they should still have it there if you go like first thing in the morning. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So get up early, go to the post office first thing the next morning, and my palette was there waiting for me. So I got so lucky that these were nice people who, you know, didn't mess with my package. I was like worried that it was gonna go to someone and they were gonna open it and use it or like sell it. So I got really lucky that they were so nice and that they sent it back to the post office. This is what the crease looks like and I'm really happy with it. I feel like these shades go so well together. So I am going to take this matte shade, this like kind of dark brown, put a little tiny bit on the outer corner. I don't want to deepen this up too much at all. I just figured I might as well test out all the mattes. So I'm using a looser brush because I don't want this to be like super precise. I'm not gonna like pack it on there really. I'm gonna take this like golden shade and put that on the outer corner. And I am gonna pack this one on. Oh my gosh, that looks so good with that deep brown underneath. Now I wanna pop this green shade on the rest of my lid. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. Okay, so now I do want to do one more little thing. I want to take this green shade as like an olive green with a little bit of silver reflex in it. And I'm going to go ahead and use it to blend like my crease. Normally I keep the crease area matte, but I feel like this will help spice things up. To be honest, I don't really feel like it's doing much, but whatever. I really love that that deep brown is peeking out just the slightest bit. It makes like the slightest bit of difference. Okay, so now I'm gonna go do liner and lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And now it is time to finish up this eye look. So I'm gonna finish this up with a little something on the lower lash line. So I actually do want to take this shade. So yeah, I'm gonna pop that on the lower lash line. It really goes well with like the cream colored liner I have on, so I really like that. Now, last but certainly not least, we're gonna add a pop in the inner corner, which of course I have to take this shade. So this is really pretty. As you can see, it's kind of like an off-white cream shade. I don't know, it kind of has like a greenish tint to it. Like it's very light, but it's not like your typical like stark white inner corner highlight. This is a close-up of the completed eyeshadow look from today's video. Okay, so now that we're done using the eyeshadow palette, I wanted to go ahead and give some final thoughts on this palette. Although I'm sure, as you could tell, I am really happy with this makeup look and also how the palettes formed today. And you already know how I feel about the color layout because of how I went on and on in the beginning, so I'll try not to ramble on and be super repetitive. But I really do just want to give Colourpop a huge shout out because this palette is a huge hit for me. I really cannot recommend it enough. I think it's so cute, whether it's for you or for someone else. I love that everything blended out so smoothly. There weren't any hiccups when it came to blending. The colors just go so well together. I mean, I used most of this palette today and I can definitely pick out the different shades that I used. They didn't just blend into one color. Sometimes when you use minty shades, they kind of blend into one another and become like a really muted shade, like a gray almost. So I really love that each of these shades stand out. So that's how I know that it's a really great formula that I'm going to keep on using, and I hope that you can get your hands on it if you want. Again, I don't want to sound super repetitive, but I just really want to get across that I love this palette. This is like one of my favorite palettes of 2020. So yeah, with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and make sure to check out some of my other videos. I have a full playlist just of my Disney collection reviews. Yeah, that's all for today's video. Make sure that you're subscribed if you're not already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.